Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Curling Stadium live coverage from the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. My name's Shawn Joyce here with you for women's matchup. This is essentially C semifinals. There's 3 qualifiers coming through the C. All of the teams that win this afternoon will still have to play tonight. Kaitlyn Laws playing against Kerri Einarson in this matchup that we've got for you this afternoon. For the Laws team, it is the lead, Kristen McCuish. Jocelyn Peterman throwing second. Selena Negaven is the third. And the skip, Kaitlyn Laws. For Kerri Einarson, it's Kristen Karwacki at lead. Shannon Burchard is the second. She's back. She's missed a fair bit of the season with, I believe, knee issues. Val Sweeting throws the third stones. And, of course, Kerri Einarson, the skip. 2 teams that you wouldn't necessarily expect to see meeting each other in the C event, but that's just a testament to how strong the field has been here in Swift Current. There's been some excellent curling. The 2 teams, as always, had a practice session before the game began and draw to the button to determine who would have last rock here in this opening end of play. Einarson won the draw to the button. Laws got it started off with the red stones. And both of these teams look like they're coming to play here in the first end. They threw the tight guard on the first one, trying to throw the long center to get 2 centers up on the second one. It doesn't quite get over the line. So that's a hog stone. It's removed. In between those 2 attempts, Kerri Einarson had thrown a corner guard of her own. Now they're looking to come around it. On the brush all the way down. It's still going to rub the guard now. Can they get it in behind the center? Well, they got a sliver in behind. Well, and it spins out at the end, so it's just fully open. Kaitlyn Laws asking Jocelyn Peterman to try to make the hit, and I don't know if she can roll under cover or not. Looks like it's about edge to edge, but there's been enough finish on this ice through most of the week. You might be able to get there. This one rode out on them a little bit. She'll make contact. Shooter will roll towards the out of the rings now. Big spin back at the end, and I think it might be in. That's what Kerri indicating. It's still in the rings. So looking again to come around the corner guard. And this is interesting to me. I had a chance to do one of Kerri's games yesterday, and Shannon Burchard was there yesterday. She's not playing this afternoon. So they're playing shorthanded. Kristen Karwacki throwing her third stone here of this end. Comes up short of the rings, and that gives Kaitlyn Laws the chance now to look to come around the center guard. Big movement here towards the middle in Swift Current. You can see that a lot of room yet at the hog line, but really moves from the hog line in. And she will end up just biting the top of the button, probably 3/4 behind. Val Sweeting now will look to play the run back. Makes the run, but dead stuffs it, leaves it in behind cover. Bit of a bad break there. Even if you just pop it out in the open isn't bad. Now a chance to throw the second guard. Selena Negovin on the in-turn, looking for the high guard. Needs some separation between this one and that yellow one tighter to the rings. Well, they tried to plan B there. I'm sure the initial call was the longer guard. It looked like they tried to come around at the end because it's a little deep and just chipped off it, so the straight run back is still available. Val Sweeting dead stuck the run back on her last one. This time running back her own stone. Would love to do it again. This time not able to get up to the nose. We'll drive it by everything. Another attempt at the guard from Selena Negovin. She was a little heavy on the last attempt. Just the single guard now when she finishes with this one, so it doesn't necessarily have to be up any higher this time. Needs to close that gap. A good job by the Brushers to get it as far as they did. I think it got just far enough. Well, Kerri thinking there might be a hole. There might be. It's not a very big one.
I don't know about you, but I love seeing action right in the first end.
Sam Steep has joined me now. Yeah, we've had lots of opportunity to see action here in the first end. A couple of miscues. We've already found out that Kerri Einarson's team's short a player, but we're not sure why.
I do know Shannon was dealing with her knee issues this season.
Yeah, she was here earlier in the event, though. I did call one of their
Yeah.
games yesterday. No, it might even have been Thursday. So I know she was here, and I don't know that. I mean, this could be when you've got a player coming back from a knee issue. You hate to use this phrase in curling, but it could be a load management issue, knowing that if they win this one, they still have another one to play later tonight. So maybe she's just not playing every game yet. You'd hate to think she re-aggravated. I want to, until somebody tells me differently, I want to hope that it's just a planned game off, just so she's not playing all of them in a heavy schedule.
Yeah, probably watching the live stream quite closely. I don't see her on the warm side of the glass anyways.
Well, she could be on the upstairs warm side of the glass, too.
I'll be comfier.
Better viewing as well, really. You get up a little higher. Although, you know, if she was here, I think she'd be accessible to the team during timeouts. So for that, she might want to be downstairs. Kaitlyn Law has another chance to throw the guard here. You see the inside sweepers kind of swung around the back. They need this to curl again. Has to close the gap. Probably did so a little better this time.
Pretty much perfect. I say pretty much because it's just a little high. They can probably make a hack weight hit and roll behind those corner guards.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's not easy. It's fully buried, but it does curl enough here.
This is one where the fact that that little spider at the back of the 12-foot makes a difference, because you might be able to find either the double combination on the reds or run the other one straight back. If you were just trying to get away with a blank, you might play a run back of some sort or another here. You're not getting a blank.
Be pretty hard to blank with how many guards are in play, but it could.
Yeah. By the front one, she's got to get by the tight yellow, not going to. Now, does she end up with second and third out of it? Second for sure, and that one will stop as well. So she's got second and third, which, you know, that complicates things a little bit for Kaitlyn Law. As you got to look around, and that's what you can see her doing. Is she got anything she could run in for three? What's the angles look like on those yellows? If you're worried about her running something in, you might hit second shot and try to roll over for second yourself.
I'd be pretty tempted into tapping the red to the top button. They're calling top 8, which does the same thing. I just think tapping to the top button almost secures the steal 1. Could be a little dangerous leaving a double for 3.
That's what I'd be worried about. And part of that would have been they've already looked at the angles of what she could run in. If she doesn't have anything to run in at the 1, and it's hard to tell. Like, the double guard on the S3 logo kind of looks like it goes over the top, and the one that's higher than that, it's hard to tell if you could get it by the yellows and still make contact with the red. So if you don't think she can make that run back anyway, then you might as well bring another one right in, because we might not be talking about a steal of 1, we might be talking about a steal of 2.
Yeah, it looks like they motioned to the top 8 foot.
Yeah,
which does the same thing as the tap virtually. It's going to be hard to get into shot rock. There's no clear draw path.
No. And if you don't think those run backs are making contact, then I don't think you have to worry about coming to the middle. The danger in coming to the middle, if those run backs are there, is you're not changing the shot by coming to the middle. It's a run back double instead of a run back single, but the angle's going to be there to make, if you can make one, you can make the other. It doesn't look like they're angled to get to that stone.
No, it didn't look like they were. This is definitely advantage Kaitlyn Law as she throws her last rock here in the first end.
Comes down, sits on the red, taps it back a few inches, so there's a little bit of separation between them.
Now they might have lined up the splash.
It's a rock higher, so if you're playing one of those runbacks, does it make contact with the higher one now? And it might.
Pretty risky. It does look lined up, though.
I don't know how risky it is, because what else do you have?
Yeah.
If you're touching one of them, you're at least cutting it down to one. It still looks like it. Okay, it's time to get the ruler out on the screen. It still looks like it comes towards the high end of it. Well, it might hit it where you could actually get both of them. And that is
my phone on my screen is not touching the red, but that's a bad measurement probably.
I used it. I have an actual ruler on my desk. It's for other things, but I use that. It does look like it might just touch it. Of course, whenever you get two rocks that close together,
there could be a little bit of drag.
There could be a little bit of drag depending how she hits it. Boy, if you could drive this onto the front end of that red stone that was just delivered, you could get the double on the two reds. It could be for three. What kind of swing could this be? It's looking like a steal of two right now. Kerri Einarson with her last one.
Looking to at least touch one of the reds. Could be a shot for three.
On to one, on to two, and it does go over the top of the reds in the rings. It'll be a steal of two. Kaitlyn Laws jumps out to a 2-point lead here. Kerri Einarson with the last rock once again when we come back for the second end.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind from pre-seed to post-harvest. You can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you
Two 2-0 as we begin play here in the second end. Kerri Einarson still with last rock, and the difference now with a 2-point lead. Kaitlyn Laws tried to throw two center guards last end. Now they did hog the second one, so she only had the one. But 2-point lead, she's not throwing any guards here to start things off in the second. Kerri Einarson still throwing the corner.
Yeah, and I had a coach when I was in juniors once tell me if I gave up a steal in the first end, just pretend like I didn't have hammer. Forced them to two, now focus, not just try to put it past you. Mainly, the main message is to forget about it, focus on the next 7 ends, and not just the fact that you gave up a steal in the first.
Got a really nice draw in on the first one, trying to cover it up now. This guard's going to be a little higher than they probably would have liked. And probably left the corner on what I think you'd call the wrong side, because it leaves the chance for the Einarson team to try to come around, move that shot stone, and roll behind their own corner. Now, you do have to be careful here. This is not just a free guard you're dealing with. It's also in the no-tick zone.
Yep, can't broom tight just to make the tick if you over-curl.
Sam, you and I talked about that in the game
Yes,
earlier
we did,
today, and
yeah.
this was not an intended consequence of this rule. 'Cause I'm not overall in favor of the no-tick zone, because I like the tick shot, but I do like the effect that it had on this shot, because now you have to play this shot with a lot more precision. You're exactly right. You used to just tight ice that shot and make sure you touched one of them, and now you can't. You actually have to commit to going after the rock in the rings. She actually got to the rock in the rings fairly easily, didn't have it thin enough to get the roll behind cover. She stays in the open.
Yeah, I mean, playing with 3 is hard. Sometimes, the repetition of getting to throw 3 rocks is a little bit of an advantage from time to time, but one sweeper in the sport that we play now is just a major, major downfall.
Yeah, it could depend on the sweeper, I would say. There's a lot of teams that feel it's an advantage to play with 3 from the repetition of the shooting side, and the disadvantages aren't as big as they used to be, because a lot of rocks are swept with one sweeper. The caveat to that, where it matters, is your one brusher, how good are they at the footwork if they have to go from one side to the other? Because it's not easy, especially if you're push slide type brusher. It's really tough to switch back and forth. You've seen it. It's come up a lot of times in the last couple of years, and I know they're discussing now at the world level, the administrative level, what to do about three-handed play, whether or not it should be allowed to continue, even for that matter. There certainly is the feeling that it's an advantage from the thrower if you get 3 reps an end. Just rubs the guard on the way by, enough to go by everything, and really didn't get the guard out of the way either. So this is kind of back to what we saw in the first end, one little miscue, and now Kaitlyn Laws can guard a stone in the 4-foot.
Yeah, Team Einarson's going to have to make a run back now at some point this end. It's an interesting concept because, life happens, and sometimes all 4 players can't be at the arena. And it's just like, are you going to make teams forfeit if somebody's hurt, or if you don't have a 5th? Then 4-person teams turn into 5-person teams. Then professionals are going to need to make a little bit more money to be able to fund a 5-person team. It's very interesting.
So looking for the straight run back here, try to pick that stone off the top of the 4-foot. Kyle had a couple of these attempts in the first and dead stuffed one and just missed the second. Maybe the third time's the charm.
Being a lefty, she sees a little bit more of this rock. Needs to hit it just off nose.
I think that sweep call at the end was just make sure we're clearing the front. You'd hate to hit, just off the nose, stay there, and still miss the rock in the rings.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You don't want to do what they did last end, where they had 5 or 6 rocks not being able to be run back because they're staggered.
And on the other side of the coin for Selena Negavan throwing 3rd for the Laws team, you don't see this very often, where you're throwing in the second end and the only shot you've thrown so far is a guard. It's usually a good sign, though, when your 3rd's playing guards.
It's usually a great sign. It means the front end's doing their job, setting up perfectly. No mistake there.
Yeah, and that's all she's thrown so far. Now there's a little bit less distance between them, so Kerri's going to try the double peel this time.
Not sure if it's lined up or not. Could get lucky and touch the yellow on the way by too and send it to the center. Probably not, but
looks
I'm
like
a dreamer.
It goes over. looks like it goes over. Boy, she's got to make contact. That's thin. Left it dead buried.
Not the sharpest this Team Einarson's looked in the past so far, but only the second end. I think they'd be pretty happy scoring this end after a few misses.
Just calling for the tight guard here. They'd be okay with it biting the 12-foot, sit 2. It would be tempting to come right in here, maybe not quite this early.
Yeah, I probably want to keep a little bit of separation here.
Yeah.
Team Einarson's obviously a great hitting team. They've had some misses this end, but don't want to give them too many chances at getting rid of all 3 reds.
Selena's been so good at throwing guards. Why would you call anything else for her? There she is, 4 for 4.
Yeah, it's so good that Team Einarson just going to set up a freeze or a run back. So definitely an aggressive call in the second end.
Yeah, I get it, though. It doesn't look like you're headed for a blank. If you're going to get forced, why not try to get forced to 2? This is third's last stone. It's as good a spot as any to make an aggressive play. It's tough to make a really good aggressive play with the setup you've got right now.
Yeah, it's hard to put this in a perfect spot. It needs to be half buried above the current shot rock would be perfect, but
it's got to curl.
They're calling heavy.
Yeah, really didn't get the line they needed either. There's room to get to the inside of that and roll under cover.
Yeah,
even if that just gets, about 6 inches deeper so that you're shot rock, then she probably can't roll under because she'd be into the side of her own rock. This is the kind of rock she gets to roll under now. You could be looking at a steal of 2 again.
Yeah, if she makes this perfect, you'll probably see Einarson. You'll probably see Kerri throw the angle run and hope to get rid of both reds.
So that's what you think she's playing. What do you like, Sam? Do you want to roll dead behind or half in behind? Because if you're half in behind, she can't really pick it either. It'll jam.
Yeah, half in behind's perfect.
Half in behind, that angle coming from the other side may not get both of them either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you roll fully buried, corner frozen on the red, then you're definitely going to see the angle run, and we've seen Kerri make those about 1,000 times. So it's interesting at this top level. You try to not leave anything, but they're the best curlers in the world for a reason. You're going to give them a shot. Just try and get half buried here is perfect.
They're on the brush right away. By the guard. He's going to get the roll. Rolls dead on top of her own.
I'm shocked they didn't look at the corner, the angle run. It's hard to make this draw and hide. But maybe a practice draw.
It might be. That's what I'm thinking. It's more of a practice draw. He's scared to play the angle run because here's the thing: if you play the angle run and fail to make contact, Kaitlyn Laws guards this side, and you can't get enough forefoot on the other side to score.
Yep,
you make this, Kaitlyn's going to have to play it out, and you'll have the same shot to get your single.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's absolutely right.
You sure
can't
get
boxed out.
You sure can't miss it here. I mean, you got to hit forefoot here because if you don't, she still throws the guard, takes it away.
Yeah, worst spot you could put this probably is back 4 foot, followed by top 12 foot. So not a lot of tolerance here for Kerri.
And it does look like it might be a little strong. It might be a lot strong. It's going to go through the 4, through the 8. Hangs on back 12. Well, what do you like now if you're Kaitlyn Lawes? I mean, you could take away the same draw path. Here's the thing. You take away the draw path, you force her to play that angle run in. If she makes it, it might be for 2. It's hard to tell how much drag there would be, whether it would clip that one at the back or not. If you come into the 8-foot, which is what they're looking at now, you're never going to leave a triple, I don't think.
It's a perfect spot. If you can somehow put it
where she's got the broom.
Where she has the broom, yeah.
And just because of the angle of the 2 and the 4-foot, right? Like if you're in the house there, she can't make the triple because those 2 in the middle, that middle one's always dead jamming when you're coming at it from that direction. You take away the draw path. The angle run in, if it's made perfectly, is still only for 1. Yeah, that's the ideal.
Yeah, it's perfect. You need to be third, like you said. Kerri will throw that angle run if it's for 2 all day.
Well,
and it might be her only shot.
It might be her only shot, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they need to be as tight to the center line as what they were looking at. I think they could be, 6 to 8 inches off the center line, and she still has nothing through the middle. 6 to 8 inches off the center line probably means she can't get around it and be shot rock either.
Even making her throw a new draw path in the second end will be mission accomplished.
Yep.
Kaitlyn Lawes' last rock here in the second end, looking for full 8-foot.
It's been all team Lawes so far.
They must have had good power naps in between games. Sweeper's calling heavy out of her hand.
Don't think it's too bad. They're still cleaning. Now this is already over curled. You may as well get it right in. I'm not sure they managed this one as well as they could have. They will get it right down to the face of their own, but it does leave her the draw path.
Yeah, unfortunate over curl. I found watching so far, the wider you go, the more curl you're getting.
Yeah, now Kerri's going to need a little more ice this time than she did on her first one. It's going to change the paths a little bit because look at where she ended up on the last one. Yeah. And she just barely got by those reds in the 4-foot as it was. So when she takes 6 feet of weight off this, she's going to need a little bit more ice just to make sure she gets by. That means she's going to be thrown in a little bit of a different path.
Needs a piece of the button for her 1 point here in the second end.
Jumping up to help the sweep. A little heavy on her first. Both of them brushing this all the way down. Kristen Karwacki has not left it. Are they going to be able to get it to the tee line? With that powerful extra brushing brought on by Kerri Einarson, they actually brought it to the back of the button, which is still good for her single point. She closes the gap, maybe dodges a small bullet there. Could have been 3 the other way. She gets her 1. Kaitlyn Lawes with a 2-1 lead after 2 ends of play, and she'll have last rock for the first time in the third.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like 1 more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread joy.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Shawn, Joyce, Sam Steep with you here live from the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown in Swift Current. 17 women's teams began play Thursday morning, looking for one of 8 berths into the playoffs to begin tomorrow morning. We already know who 5 of the playoff teams are. 2 through the A, there were 3 through the B. 3 more will be determined. The final 3 will be determined later on tonight. There are 3 games on the ice now, including our feature to determine who's going to be in those 3 qualifying games tonight. Kaitlyn Laws with the early advantage here. She's got a 1-point lead and now last rock as we begin play in the third. A little short with that come around, though.
Yeah, probably the first misstep out of Team Laws so far this game. Definitely don't want to be missing light up one with Hammer on the center line.
Yeah, not coming from that direction because you've now left the center guard.
Yeah. In our other C semifinals, we have Chelsea Kerri versus Ashley Trevenant. Chelsea Kerri up 1-0, and Danielle Inglis up 2-1 over Jolene Campbell. The 3 teams waiting in the C final are Team Delaney Strauss, Team Inglot, and Team Kayla McMillan.
It's always a tough spot to be in when you're in that C qualifier in the spot of the 3 teams you just mentioned, because they all lost B qualifiers earlier today. So they're coming off a loss. And when they do play tonight, they're going to be facing a team that has had to win to get into that game. So there's a little bit of there's a difference in the momentum. You're coming from the better spot because you're in the B qualifier, but momentum-wise, it's just always a little bit different. It's tough to lose the B qualifier and then come back and win the C one.
Especially if you're Strauss and McMillan, they both teams lost the A final.
They lost Ace as well. I hadn't gone back to look that far, and that's always the kind of the kiss of death.
Yeah,
you lose qualifiers, the A and the B, and just it seems like so often if you've lost the first 2, you're almost guaranteed to lose the third one. I think some of that is mental because you obviously played well to get to the A qualifier, but now you're coming off back-to-back losses, and that's just always a tough spot to be in mentally. Playing against a team that's maybe had to rattle off 2 or 3 wins in a row in the C, and now they've got some momentum.
Yeah, it's definitely a switcheroo almost.
Great game of confidence. It's a game of confidence.
Jocelyn. It is absolutely a game of confidence, especially at this level when teams generally don't give you too many misses.
You start to rattle off a couple of wins in a row, and now you start feeling like you can make the shots, and you start having doubts when you're losing games, maybe a couple of games in a row. Kristen Karwacki tight by the guard. She will make the hit, but she's going to roll out into the open on the other side.
Yeah, both teams with back-to-back great sweeps, one by Val Sweeting, one from Jocelyn Peterman, holding rock straight, which isn't easy on this ice. Lots of curl here in Swift Current.
Chance with, I think, bumper weight. That's the hand to the hip for the teams that use that signal is usually bumper weight. Needs to get to the inside of this for any kind of roll. Outstanding. For the third end in a row, Kerri Einarson looking at Kaitlyn Law's stone buried in the forefoot. For Val being left-handed, the in-turn draw looks easier, but it's a little tougher to get to shot rock that way. You're not going to get shot rock with a freeze right now anyway, but considering the run on the short one. Problem with the short runners, if you don't make contact, it's still buried.
Yeah, not a lot of awesome options for Einarson right now. But Val can put this right on the top of the button.
Could, but I think they were looking for the freeze on the corner of the red. The freeze on the corner of the red's great, except how do you it? You know, it's a better option from this side if you could make it. The problem is, how do we use it if we make it? Because by the time you make the corner freeze, you're dead buried, which makes it hard to chip the yellow to remove the red. You could make it from the other side, but then it's queued up to go away from the guards. That's not ideal either. This looks strong. No matter which way you were playing it, you didn't want to be that deep. Did it stay for shot rock? If it's shot, Kaitlyn might have to make a play on it. Oh, I love it when they point. It means we don't have to guess.
Yeah, Team Einarson's probably going to have to play with fire this end at this point.
Well, they might already be. You saw it. I don't know whether you saw it there. There's a plan B call on this, too. If you come too tight by the guard, they could chip the red guard and actually sit shot third and fourth with that stone at the back of the forefoot being wide open. So she's got options here and has already considered them. Now that was a little back on the release. I don't think she's going to get anywhere near the guard now.
Yeah, they would have liked that to roll to the 12-foot, but...
Yeah. Maybe panicked a little bit when it was out there off the release. They did carve it over a little bit, got closer to the nose than they might have liked. Scary to throw this as a straight draw. It's probably there.
Val is a lefty, so she sees a little bit less than what a right-handed curler would do. It's probably edge on edge for her compared to having a little bit of air, but definitely still there. Easy to feel like you're down 3 or 4 right now, even though you're only down 1 in the third, just by the way the first 2 ones went.
Well, and even this one, they're looking at a buried stone in the forefoot again this end.
Mm-hmm.
It did not get to the inside again.
If Laws hits and rolls to the 12-foot, you'll probably see Einarson draw the top of the button.
Selena Negavan with a nice hit and roll. As you expected, Sam. Kerri going to play the draw. she kind of has to here. As much as you hate to see a big end come up against you, if she hits that stone out at the edge of the 8-foot, it doesn't even matter what she does. Like, she can't roll for shot. And Kaitlyn's probably coming around to sit 2 buried. 3's already in play. You may as well try to make the draw.
Yeah, you have 3 attempts really to shrink that scoring area down. Could even still a potential steal.
Needs to curl again. A ton of room by the guard. Even if this does come to rest for shot rock, you got to believe they're going to be able to make a play on it. They bring it right back at second, but you had to get it buried.
Not getting as much curl as maybe they expect. Obviously, they're missing the weights by about 3 feet so far this game, but
Kaitlyn looking at the draw to the top of the 4-foot. The split's still okay on the red one.
Pretty dangerous if you try to play a backline hack weight hit. If you end up over curling and splitting, you're sitting 1, 3, 4, or 5. It'd be pretty tempting.
Yeah, no, for sure, because it opens up that stone at the back of the 4-foot, and really, the yellow guard and the red shot stone are dead lined up. Like, if you move the red guard, the tight red guard, Kerri Einarson still doesn't really have a shot to get shot rock out of there cleanly. And her second shot at the back of the 4-foot would be pretty vulnerable and exposed. Looks like they're making the attempt, but this is out there again. Like, the acceptable miss here was to clip the guard. She'll make contact, pushes it far enough that she's sitting 2, so mission accomplished. The split's not as dangerous now.
Yeah, stat sheet, you get a 50% on that. Could have been 0 if it wasn't good sweeping to carve that, but another chance for Kerri to get this into the top button.
Made an outstanding in-turn draw with her final stone in the second end to pick up the single. Needs another one here. Skip stones still to come in the third end. Kerri Einarson with her first.
I do have a funny feeling that they sharpen the stones for this event because it is getting just that little bit straighter. Still great ice conditions and still getting a good amount of curl, but maybe the skips just haven't put the broom quite in the right spot yet. As this slides a little bit too deep as well. They had the right line though.
Now, with not getting the last one out, it's over buried anyway. I don't think you could go to chase that one and try to move it. You'll never get it past the yellow at the back. So that red at the side is essentially not in play anymore.
No, not unless Team Einarson lines up some kind of double.
True.
But, yes.
But it means you're playing straight draw here anyway, is the point.
Yep.
Mind you, she could put on a lot of pressure with a good draw here. She puts this right beside her other stone. I don't know what Kerri Einarson plays with her last one, to be honest.
She'd be in a lot of trouble. She'd have to draw the edge of button, get a quarter buried, and hope for a jam or something, which is very specific and very difficult.
One brush down early. It looked like they were waiting for the line call. Once it started to curl, they've jumped on it. Still plenty of curl here. This does not look like it's got the weight, though. Well, and that could be the shot that Kerri Einarson needed to get out of jail a little bit. She's got something she could come around now. They're staggered.
That's absolutely the miss she's been waiting for. Team Law is pretty much perfect until a couple of miscues here in the third, and that was definitely not the right miss. There really is no run back on the center line anymore.
No, if this draw is made, she probably has to play the out-turn draw, tap the stone at the top of the forefoot into the button area.
It's certainly a high enough guard that's definitely makeable. You could even play
it is.
with, but yeah,
It's only for one, though. Yeah.
Yep. And then that looked like 2 or 3 early. Chance for Kerri Einarson to shrink that scoring area.
Even on that shot, she puts that shot in the forefoot. It's looking like 3.
Yeah. Big opportunity to switch the momentum here. Should be close. This is her 3rd draw in a row. 4th draw in a row.
4th draw in a row, yeah. Got there for the weight, didn't quite get the line they were looking for. There's still a piece of it exposed. And with that late finish, Kaitlyn Law's thinking she's got enough room to get close to the nose. Move it back far enough to get 2.
Definitely worth the risk. The tap is pretty difficult just to get to the button.
Yeah.
Anyways, so might as well try a shot for 2.
You know, you look at how thin she'd have to be on that yellow to dead jam it on the yellow at the back. This is probably either a 2 points for Kaitlyn Laws or a steal of 1. I don't see any way in between. I don't think you're partially jamming this and rolling out. I think if you're not dead jamming it, I think you're staying in the forefoot somewhere.
Last rock here in the 3rd end. Backline tap 4-2, Kaitlyn Laws.
Jocelyn Peterman, the tighter brusher, just cleaning really. They're waiting for the line call. There it goes. They're sure they're by the guard now. They'll try to carve it as much as they can. Is this going to be a little too thin? It's going to be near the jam. And it does. Jam's too solid. It's a steal of 1. And you know, as much as this game might have felt like it's been all Kaitlyn Laws so far, we're now all tied up after 3 ends of play. It will still be Kaitlyn Laws with last rock in the 4th.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life, when I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Saskatchewan, you know Sasktel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With Sasktel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Sasktel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
Fourth end underway, tight center guard thrown up to start, and look at that come around. I mean, there's only about 4 feet separation, maybe even less than that, between the guard and the stone and the top of the 8, and it is dead buried. That finished hard. Kerri looking to come right around both of them.
Bit better start for Team Laws, not throwing that center guard when you have hammer.
You know, we talked about this a little bit earlier in the game, Sam, and I'm noticing on that shot, and so a question has come up. And let me give you the preamble so I can set this up right. But we talked about the 3-player teams and whether or not it might be an advantage or a disadvantage, and especially the issue being the one sweeper, I think. And I just wonder if it influences the calls at all. For instance, on the Einarson team, Val Sweeting prefers to brush with a slider, so she's push sliding, which means that her natural side to sweep on is going to be when Kristen Karwacki throws her intern. So do you lean to the intern when you know that that's what your brusher is on her natural side, and then it makes it really tough for her to switch around when she has to carve one in. Whereas I think Kristen Karwacki, is brushing with a gripper.
Yeah, it's definitely something I'm sure they thought about, and they probably talked about pre-game. Yeah, it's definitely a strategy. They knew this was Shannon's first event back. They knew that it was most likely going to need a rest game. Obviously, they're probably listening to professional physios and medical people that know what they're talking about a lot more than what we do.
Well, when they set their brushing up, there's no doubt that they did it. Lots of brushers have taught themselves over the years to brush with 2 grippers. But in this particular lineup, you got 2 right-handed brushers, and then Val Sweeting being a left-hander. It's actually, she could sweep from that side all the time, and she's going to be on her stronger side because she's always sweeping with a right-hand brusher who tends to be stronger on the other side. So she's sweeping with a slider, which is how you can get maximum pressure, but it really makes it tough to switch. So that's great when they're playing 4-handed, but it's that little bit of a problem when they've only got 1 brusher. Here you see at the end when they're looking for extra curl and she has to switch around. Well, her push foot now is the one with the slider on it. It's hard to do the footwork like that.
Yeah, I mean, and Val's also played mixed doubles a lot. I don't know how much sweeping she's done, but I'm sure she has slider swept quite a bit.
Whether you've done it or not, you're still not as effective when you're off
on
the offside with the slider because you just can't get the same downward pressure.
Yeah. There is Team Fujisawa does slider sweep and sometimes backwards, what I call backwards slider sweeping, which obviously isn't effective, but they go for more faster reps than they do pressure. So it's interesting for sure, but obviously not as effective.
When we're comparing, you notice there that both brushers for Kaitlyn Laws were 2 grippers on the way down.
Yeah. No, it's certainly, sweeping is changing pretty much every day in our sport. And definitely, I talked about this when I commentated alone this afternoon. I said it's interesting to see the different sweeping techniques by all the athletes on the ice. There's not, I don't even know if there is a right answer. Obviously for men, especially the taller, bigger men, they kind of get away with less technical curling sweeping wise because they're so big and strong. They can have bad technique and still get away with it, compared to maybe compared to women where they have to be very technically sound sweepers. And obviously a lot of this level they are, but it's interesting to see how they go about the sweeping techniques.
Different research into it, that the techniques that are taught at the highest level have changed as well. Once upon a time, they used to teach everybody to sweep what they call open, so the broom is on the skip side. Kristen right now is sweeping closed, where it's
Closed,
across
yeah.
her body.
Mhm.
And the latest research that I've seen has suggested you can get maximum pressure closed and with a slider, because you can get your weight outside of your hip line, or your feet outside of your hip line, which means you've got more weight on the brush that way. The problem is the footwork becomes tricky. So it's good if you can stay on one side all the time, because then you can always get that maximum pressure, but the footwork is tricky if you have to switch around to the other side. May have caught them a little bit there. They were looking for the chip and just goes by everything and through the back.
Yeah, a couple of
Now-
misses on both teams. They stuffed the peel and then missed a tap opportunity for Team Einarson. Decision time for Team Laws. What's the best thing you can do here?
Yeah, she'd love to move that yellow stone out of the 12-foot. The problem is she really doesn't want to push her red one out into the open. And I don't think you want to roll half under either. You roll half under, Kerri just comes around everything. I don't think he can get enough. Doesn't look to me like there's enough air to roll past the guard out into the open on the other side. She did look at angle run, yellow guard onto the Yellowstone in the 12-foot.
Yep. As a skip, you're always thinking about your problem rock and what is the problem rock, and that center guard's pretty hard to eliminate right now. So it's hard to believe hitting and sitting three is a bad choice.
Yeah, it's just because you don't have a good option as to where to roll. You hit this right on the nose, you might leave a triple. You can't really hit it on the outside without pushing a red into the open. If you're going to push it into the open, push it way over there. That's probably the best result.
Yeah,
That's
leaves
a
a
good
nose
shot.
double, but it gets the play out. There's no staggered centers anymore, and you can't give up a steal here in the fourth end. You got to score, keep the even ends for Team Laws.
Stuffs the hit and does not get behind the corner or behind the center guard either. He's got a sliver in behind, but still be enough there to make the play on it. And on this one, I'd say you'd like to roll a little bit past the other one if you could, where if she has trying another one of those straight back doubles, she doesn't get a chance to roll behind the center.
Yeah, you'd love to roll to the edge of the bite. The 12-foot would be perfect. Yeah, Team Einarson kind of stuck in the middle of two shots there. Obviously wanted the double and knew it was going to overcurl and didn't quite roll behind the center guard. Where you look at Kristen McCush's sweeping, this is what they taught. This is how they taught you how to sweep. 2 years ago this was closed, barely any weight on your feet, lots of
grippers,
downward pressure, and two grippers. That's how they taught you 2 years ago.
But when the brushing, when they started teaching the brushing at the highest level, because they didn't right when it first came out. I'm from the corn broom era myself, and a lot of us when we started using the corn broom, we just turned our hands over and used the brush across our body like we always had with the corn broom. And when they first started teaching it, they taught it open, feeling like you had your best judgment. I think that way. It wasn't about the pressure. You wanted the broom on the outside of the body towards the skip, where they just felt it was the best spot for judging draws. And it also gave you a straighter brush stroke instead of the angle.
Yeah, it's in our sports, the sport like curling, just like most sports, are just always going to evolve into better, more efficient techniques for the top level, and it'll come down to tier 2, tier 3 level as well. And
one thing I will say is I don't think I've ever seen, well, I shouldn't say that. There's maybe, if there are any, there's only a handful of players that would ever switch their hand position. So for instance, if you're open on one side, you're going to be closed on the other side. Lots of guys switch sides. I don't Off the top of my head, I can't think of any of them that switch their hand position. So if you're open on one side, you're always closed on the other side.
Not a lot. Some young players were lucky enough to have a coach that was smart enough to teach them both ways right at the start.
Yeah.
And obviously, you still have one stronger side than the other. But with a hit and roll out from Selena Negevin, it's very interesting. When I switch sides, I'm closed one side, open on the other side.
Yeah.
In mixed doubles, I slider sweep when I sweep my own rocks, and because we're on clocks, I slider sweep a lot. So I've learned how to slider sweep, but not as effective, obviously, and it takes a lot of practice to be able to slider sweep and be effective.
Skip Stone's here to come in the fourth end. Kaitlyn Laws, as has been the case much of this game, sitting two. Kerri Einarson looking to hit the stone at the back of the 8, try to roll in behind cover. Throwing a little bit more weight at this one. She's trying to get a flatter roll if she could keep a piece of the 8-foot, but this is going to stay on the outside. Boy, does it even stay for shot. Just.
Yeah, this is interesting. Since it's shot rock, Kaitlyn will have to hit it, and then Kerri Einarson needs to make a decision. She'll probably have to hit and just concede 2 points, but
depends on where this stops, right?
Yeah.
Like if she rolls any to the outside, she might be able to hit the one in the top 12-foot, roll behind the guard, and be shot rock.
Yeah, it's important for Kaitlyn to roll kind of towards the 8-foot a little bit.
At least dead nose. Dead nose is probably good enough. Sure doesn't want to roll anything to the outside. It would give Kerri the chance to make the hit on that top stone. You'd hate to let her off the hook like that.
Yeah, she had an opportunity last end to draw the top 4-foot and almost secure 2 and maybe a 3-point swing. This time needs to hit and stick to basically secure 2 points.
And they're sweeping from the offside. Now calling for straight. We'll roll into the 8-foot. Kerri looking at the hit and roll on the top one. Anyway, she's not going to be shot rock. If she's going to get shot, she's got to play off the back one.
She has to do the same thing she just did. She has to throw peel weight, hit 3/4 of it, and roll to behind that yellow center guard. It's a very, very difficult shot, but it is there to be shot stone buried. There is one men's game out on the ice, Team Moonybrook versus Team Charlie Thomas. Moonybrook up 5-2 after 4 ends. That is a B playing. That's a B playing game. Yeah, there is one more somewhere. I haven't found it yet.
C event game, I believe. Charlie Thomas and I can't remember who he's playing.
Charlie Thomas is playing Sam Moonybrook.
Oh, well, that's C.
That's a B. Is it a C?
Yes. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, you're right. It is a C event game. No, it is B. It's a B playing.
B.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. The C event hasn't started yet.
No, the men started a day later. Yeah. Kerri didn't get the roll, so it'll be a nose hit for 2 for Kaitlyn Laws here in the 4th to take the lead 4-2.
There's an A event game out there somewhere. Brent Pierce and Ryland Kleider. And I don't have the score. I went back to the draw to find it, but I don't have the score in front of me.
Last rock here in the 4th. No mistake.
Makes the hit, stays right there. Put 2 more points on the board for Kaitlyn Loss. She's got a 4-2 lead after 4 ends of play. It's the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown, live from Swift Current 5th End action for you right after this.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the Curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Two points for Kaitlyn Loss in the fourth has restored her 2-point lead as we begin play here in the fifth. And certainly we see both teams have been willing to play with some offense right from the start of the game. We've got 2 guards again here to start things off in the fifth end. A come around now, and some eagle-eyed individuals in the chat as well.
Yeah, Kristen Gordon now. Yes, she did get married this year. Curling Zone still has her as Kristen McCush, so we'll have to update her profile.
They're looking for the come around there. It comes up a little short, so now Kerri Einarson going wide on the out turn, looking to come around their own guard.
Yeah, I think if you're Team Anderson, you're okay with, even though they're center guards, you're okay with some guards in play. You're down 2 in the fifth. Kind of been chasing all game, got away with it in the first 3 ends, but and that wide path would be so difficult.
Yeah, and well short anyway, but we've talked a lot about the brushing, and there's a spot where you see just how awkward the brushing is for them playing that particular turn, because Val Sweeting, with a slider on, is starting off on the wrong side of the rock to sweep, to hold it straight. She's switching around as she first put her brush down. And
certainly a disadvantage in that way, for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, Shannon would be, sure she's biting at the bit, wanting to be on the ice right now, but has to look at her long-term goals with this team. Winning Swift Current wouldn't put a big a smile on your face as winning the Scotties.
Looking for the tap, but they get past the nose, taps it back on a bit of an angle, leaves the two red guards touching each other. Those are the biggest threat to Kerri Einarson right now, so she's going to play the double peel.
Especially with team Kerri Einarson comfortably in 4th in the world. No, they're not worried about dropping out of the Grand Slams by any means, as this did not go.
Yeah, catches a little thin, spins
their
it
way.
into the rings. I can't help but keep noticing how awkward the brushing is. So there you see with a takeout attempt, Val Sweeting couldn't start on the other side. So she started on that side, knowing that would be the side to brush on to keep it straight, but now her foot's on the wrong side to get the momentum going. It's an awkward brushing setup. Probably a little easier for those brushers who go with 2 grippers, but then you're sacrificing some pressure.
It really is no right answer other than to just dig deep and kind of like the old days, you got to make your shot out of your hand, which is very difficult, but chance for Team Lost to continue to put pressure on Team Einarson.
Yeah, I feel like we've said this before.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting 2, drawing to sit 3.
Probably wants this as a tight guard.
Yeah, maybe bite the 12, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to get there anyway.
No. Yeah. Would have been nicer to have that tighter. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that rock was a sliver under, but it is fully open.
I just think your rock in the top 8 isn't an absolute winner. Team Einarson can fit 2 or 3 rocks in the center line and score 2 or 3, tie this game.
Well, that's where I think they need to make a decision here. Is she trying to go into the side of that red stone, or you could throw this quieter, catch this a little bit thinner, and roll in behind it, actually. Just going to hit it on the nose. Now, the nice thing for the Einarson team is with another nose hit, the angle would start to look pretty good for a double. So if Kaitlyn's going to hit it, they've got to play for the roll.
Basically anything but nose. You could even peel it out and be in a better position than nosing it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Obviously, you don't think about that when you're in the hack, when you're trying to hit and roll to center. Selena Negevin looking to roll to the red rock that's already buried.
On the brush right away. She's got a little bit of the inside. She'll get the roll. Does come into the edge of her own stone.
Yeah, well thrown, well swept.
Law's sitting 2 behind cover, as she has been most of the game. The angle on the 2 yellow corner guards into the reds is probably there if you need it. You wouldn't play it this early. The downside is there's a lot of room between those yellows. It's pretty hard to hit that perfectly. Got a chance to get at the stone that was just thrown directly. Got to get by the guard. Does. She'll make the tap back. Enough to get it all the way through the rings and out of play. Sheer rolls just fully open, though.
And they barely got by that guard and still rolled open. But that scoring area is getting bigger and bigger. They're going to be able to probably wrap a draw around if she makes this hit roll.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm wondering. Do you try the roll here? I think she indicated the nose hit first. If you make the nose hit, there's still no double. The double would be awfully thin, and you couldn't get to that thin of a piece of it. You make the nose
would be perfect.
You make the nose hit, and they come around it. You've got this one to run back. You're going to roll though.
Ooh, and roll to a stagger, which is even more rough.
Well, and here you are. You're at third's last stone. I mean, if you're going to make an offensive move around center guards, this is kind of traditionally even where you'd like to do it.
Kind of a big momentum draw here for Val Sweeting. Probably not as sharp as she wants to be, and they could totally switch the game around if she could put this buried top 4 foot. Team Law is currently sitting 13th in the world. Still in those Grand Slam rankings, but drifting back a little bit. Pretty big event for them.
Both brushes around to the carved side now. Got a piece in behind. It just didn't come as tight by those stones at the top of the 8 foot as she needed to get buried.
Yeah, unfortunately, close isn't, at this level, not quite good enough. Pretty open for Kaitlyn. That center line sometimes can get fudgy, and curl will just snap on some teams. So still important to eliminate that stone.
Yeah, and fine if she rolls right out on this one. I don't think you want to stay around in the 4 foot at all. It's probably easier to hit and roll behind there than it is to make that draw. If you roll to say where the broom was, Kerri's going to play the hit and roll in. So you want to roll way into the 8 foot here if you could. Out of play is fine.
Kaitlyn Law's first stone here in the 5th.
That might have been a little tight early. Is she going to get by the stones at the top of the 8? No.
A little bit of caster's curse there. Just too many times today I've seen when you're near that center line with that board weight, it can just take off.
Well, and she didn't need to play it that cute. Like, just get rid of it. Peel it out is fine.
Certainly 2, maybe even 3 in play now for Team Einarson.
Well, you have to be careful. Like, where are you putting this one? If you come to the face of your own, you actually could leave a double.
I mean, if you could ever nose tap, it's awesome. It's just such a it is a very difficult shot to make that. But
I think if you're tapping, you're leaving a double. I like Val's shot. You got to try to come around it. I don't know if you want to be quite that far out. I think you want to be edge to edge, or maybe even a sliver underneath. Kind of Christmas tree them if you could, right? Let her pick one of them, and then you'll have a shot for your 2. We're back to tied.
So I believe they're going to the back 4 foot, but wide open, or almost wide open, maybe even a quarter buried.
Yeah, not much more than that, I wouldn't think. Edge to edge is probably okay. I just don't think you want to leave her the air so she could hit and roll in. Tons of room at the hog line, but from the hog line in, look at that thing move. Just didn't have the weight.
No. Probably better that she was that light. If If she was full 8 foot, it would have been a nose double for, and then you have to draw really wide for your 1 point.
Well, the double's still there. It's whether or not you want to take on the risk.
Yeah, you could never miss wide. The draw's great because even if you miss full 8 foot, it's going to be really hard to score 2.
Yeah, she'd have to play the tap up on the one she just threw.
Mm-hmm.
If you get shot rock buried, does she ever run it back? That is so risky, but it might be your only way to score 2.
Yeah, they probably would have to, depending on where this finishes.
Still well out there right now, but you saw on Kerri Einarson's how much they will curl from the hog line in as long as the weight's right. Is this a little strong? It's well out there. They're trying to make it curl, but it's going to be far enough back that it's a draw for 2.
Yeah, pretty bad miss tolerance. If you miss that anywhere light, it's a much harder shot for 2. Still needs a bite of the 4 foot, but does have backing now.
Sliver more ice here to make sure she gets by the one she threw on her first.
Last rock here in the 5th. Kerri Einarson looking for a bite of the 4 foot for her 2 points to tie the game.
Looks to me like it's inside the line that Kaitlyn had, but this might be stronger still. A little light on the first one and a lot heavy on the second one. A little bit of a missed opportunity. Just the single point for Kerri Einarson here in the 5th end. She still trails by 1. Kaitlyn Laws with a 1-point lead in last rock in the 6th.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
While we were in the commercial, I actually didn't notice the first couple of shots to see how we got here, but I have to think the first one slid into the rings. Then we see the hit and roll to the corner.
That would be a very good guess.
You saw them, or
no?
Okay.
The screen was the ads were, they didn't have the mini screen up to watch the shots. So.
This one's in danger of sliding in as well. They're just watching it, hoping it stops, and it does come to rest. Just short of the rings. It's still on the center line, though. That's they've got the no tick part of it as well.
Yeah, I believe Team Einarson will be going very hard for a steal here. They'll probably
which
guard.
is why I'm surprised that Kaitlyn Laws is throwing to this corner, because I think you're right. I agree. I think Kerri Einarson's going to throw a second center guard here up high, and when you split the house with the two reds, you've got jams on both sides.
Yeah, I agree.
Of course, if you throw it right through, that takes away one of the jam possibilities. That's you just have.
But I do agree. You can't take away both peel lanes.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like, did she not see this guard coming? She maybe thought they were going to come around on the next one, but to me, when you got that guard that tight, yes, I realized that this is the fifth stone and you could start peeling guards in the next one, but just what you said, it's scoreboard dictated. Kerri's got to go a little bit aggressively for the steal here, so you guard that tight guard for now. Let them peel the long one. Got to line these up.
Pretty well executed one guard.
Yeah,
one of the hardest shots in curling.
I think you're just peeling the tight one, though. She didn't get it. She didn't get the coverage. That guard's no good by itself, and you can get at the tight one right now.
Yeah, they'll just have to replace the tight one behind the current high one. But yeah, it does delay everything by a shot.
Well, and if you're going to bury the tight one on the long one now, you don't have the center line split anymore. That tight guard's in a great spot. If you cover it, and if that's the one you're coming around with the last stone, you could be dead buried splitting center line. You could be in a very strong steal position. It's a half a rock difference if you're dead burying it now, but that half a rock difference in line is the half rock that would always give Kaitlyn Laws enough of the button to draw for one.
Yes.
And that's really been the story. It's not that, I mean, the Einarson team has struggled to make some shots, some runbacks, but it's not like they've missed anything by 6 to 8 inches. They're just missing. They dead stuffed a run back in the first, then they just missed the next one, and it's been shots like that much of the game. Now, this one's gonna...
I mean, not to point out the obvious, but again, with a second sweeper on, you probably make 25% more shots alone, even though they're not as sharp as they normally are.
A little strong on that draw. It comes all the way past the guard out into the open, and Jocelyn Peterman now being asked to hit and roll at the open side. I like that better than what they called, to be honest, because you're still running into the same problem. Like, if Kerri's going to throw a guard, and she might, your scoreboard dictated you have to, you've still got a clear peel lane for that long guard if you had to.
Yeah,
roll the open side, you're one jam away from giving her a chance, right?
The last thing you want is your skipper to having to draw against 2 or 3, even if it is in the wings. One pick and all of a sudden you're losing by 2. So really important. Little things add up to big things.
needed to go there for weight as much as the line, and the double peel's available there if you wanted to take on the risk. Kaitlyn Law is looking at it thinking there's no reason for us to take the risk. Just going to peel the tighter of the two, which is still by no means tight. They are overlapped.
Yeah, I mean, like I've said a million times, you have to always look at your problem rock, and it's that deeper center guard. They can always make a half weight hit around that high one.
I'm not sure they have a problem rock right now. It's the stagger that's
No,
the problem
yeah,
as much as
yeah.
anything. It's neither of the two guards really. They're both pretty long.
Well thrown stone by Selena Negavan. This team the last 2-3 years have had pregnancies throughout the throughout their seasons and haven't really played a lot, all four together. Team Laws. But with a year and a bit away from the Olympic trials, I imagine it will be time to focus on their Olympic goals. They've done a heck of a job staying in the top 15 with many different lineups in the last couple of years, and playing months after having babies is just incredible.
Curls out past the guard again, but now because that stone's in the back of the forefoot, to peel the tight one is tough. I mean, you could make it. You could put it between the reds. It's possible, but there's risk. That's what she's lining up.
Yeah, I guess it really depends how good your thrower feels. I mean, it's pretty risky to peel the tight one.
We're getting late enough in the end that you peel the long one. If they manage to make the come around on the tight one, it's not going to be a long run back.
Decision time for Kerri. Just draw the back forefoot or the top button, or hit and roll?
Well, some of this comes down to what you think the shot progression is going to be. If you make the draw here, Kaitlyn Laws probably doesn't play the run back. She probably just peels the guard off. And now what are you doing with the last one? Like, it's hard to sit two in a great spot. You almost have to come top house, I think. Top button. You can't come to the back. You come to the back, she's peeling the guard, I think. Now, she might peel the guard if you come to the top of the button too, but if you come to the top of the button, she peels the guard, you can guard it again, and you still got a chance to steal. You come back 4, back button even, she peels the guard, you guard it again, she's just drawing for 1. If you're too far back, she might even be able to come off the red for 2.
Yeah, you'd want to be top button. It just makes the run back a little bit shorter if Kaitlyn decides to.
If she's willing to play the run back.
Yeah, there's a little risk to it.
Plenty of room by the guard, and again, plenty of weight. Kerri has struggled with her draw weight in this game. She's going to come to rest back 8. Well, that might change the call for Kaitlyn Laws, because if you peel the guard now, Kerri's going to hit the stone on the edge of the forefoot and at least make you look at 2.
Yeah, you almost have to draw top 4, and you don't even want to be fully buried. Just where her broom is perfect.
Yeah, you might not want to be any buried.
Yeah.
Edge to edge on the guard is probably good. Kerri still might have a decision to make here. I'm just looking at the gap between the yellow and the red. I don't think there's anywhere where she can put this where there's not going to be a hit and roll behind cover. And that will at least minimize the damage.
She needs, she obviously needs a little bit of a miss here from Kaitlyn. Would be awesome for Team Einarson fans.
Yeah, if she slides a piece under the guard, then there's room to hit that stone that's in the 4-foot now, roll behind this one that's about to be delivered, and if it's staggered on the top guard, she might only have a shot for one. That's why I think she wants to stay fully open here if she could. This needs to stop curling or it's going to be buried. Yeah, she did. She did get it a quarter underneath, and that leaves room for Kerri Einarson to try to hit off the shot stone, roll to the back corner of the button. She'd be dead in behind cover.
Yeah, maybe a get out of jail free card here if she can make this. Might even have a good chance of stealing if you can put this fighting the back button.
Yeah, you look at where she's going to make contact. Like the front edge of that stone's only just an inch or two behind the tee line. She could have a pretty big chunk of the button if she doesn't have the pinhole covered even from where she's rolling.
Yep. Big shot here for Kerri Einarson as she throws her last in the 5th. Giving up 2 would be pretty much killing your chances of making the playoffs.
Sweep calls are off and on, so you know this is close. Starting to curl now. Has to hold the shooter. This might be a little too thin. And didn't get the red one out of the rings. Well, how greedy are you now if you're Kaitlyn Laws?
Pretty tempting to throw a back line.
She's looking at, can she come down to her own and get, but Selena looking at, there's room on the intern side.
Yeah, pretty much low risk. You just can't throw a board when you're trying to throw back line.
I mean, you're always scoring. You crash the guard, you're scoring 1. But if you get by the guard, this could, honestly, this could be handshakes. Like 2, you're still playing. 4, I don't know if you are.
I don't know if she knows how much she can see of that rock. She has a thick quarter, like 2/5 of a rock at least.
She's probably, I certainly understand this. She's playing it safe. We're going to play the heavy draw, and if I don't get it all the way out, we're still getting 2. But this is one where you throw that, you're kind of trying to throw back 8 foot out of your hand, and then as soon as you know you got line to make contact with it, let the brushers go and see if they can move it far enough.
Yeah, looked like Selena did a great job at convincing her skipper to throw a little bit more weight than she maybe wanted to. It's the vice's job. You never want to be like, no, you're playing this. You're just slowly convincing her to do what you want.
Well, what did she see when she got down to the other end? It looked like a lot of ice to me. And maybe now that she realizes how much she could see, I can't see her changing the shot. I can see her maybe tightening up the broom.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. She saw what we are seeing in our camera, that she has a lot thicker piece than she thought she did.
Yeah, so now she's definitely stepping it up to play that, say, hackish.
She's convinced herself.
Could be one of those ones where it just depends on how well you can trust your teammates. I know as a skip, there's times when you call down to the front end and you say, how much of this can I see? And they tell you 3/4. And then you get down to the hacks and realize it's dead buried. Because the guy that doesn't have to throw it will always lie. So she maybe just didn't believe them.
It's probably true. Sometimes you got to see it with your own eyes.
Yeah.
Last rock here in the 6th end. A chance to win the game. A hack waiter for 4.
Just cleaning on the inside early. Looking for curl already. You got to be careful. These will go hard, and they've now had to switch back to the straight side. By the front one.
No mistake, and
she's going to get to the nose.
Gloves are already off.
Enough to punch it through. It's 4 points and the victory for Kaitlyn Laws. She'll move on to a C qualifier later on tonight, and that eliminates the Kerri Einarson team here in Swift Current. Outstanding game, but really for the Kaitlyn Laws team, they seem to be in control much of the game, and until they cracked that big 4, it was still in doubt.
Yeah, they didn't make a lot of mistakes, Team Laws, but they missed a couple of key shots to make the game close until that hit for 4. But they will line up against Delaney Strauss here at 9 p.m. tonight.
Yeah,
go catch our other games that are being streamed right now.
They do get a bit of a break. The action will continue here on the Curling Stadium. We have live streaming coverage of all of the games, both the men's and women's play, and commentary on selected features. So we want to thank everybody for joining us here this afternoon. On behalf of myself, Shawn, Joyce, my partner,
Sam
Steed. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. A lot of great action yet to come today, tomorrow, and the men's championship round on Monday.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.